Hey everybody, it's Derek and welcome to another episode on astral travel and out-of-body experiences. I've been recently contacted by people asking about astral travel, astral projection, and I thought I would just make a video surrounding the topic from my own personal experience, and then you can take that information and be able to apply it to your own and see what works best for you. Remember that everybody's different, so your experience and how you can enter into this experience is going to be different. However, I can give you basic tools that will allow you to be able to kind of explore the way that you can enter these planes. And hopefully those of you that are already doing it, maybe this will explain a little bit more about the experiences you're having. So the first thing I want to say is that you are always having an out-of-body experience or astral projection or travel when you're sleeping at night. We are all moving out of body to have these experiences regardless if we're aware of it or not. Now, what I would suggest is that you keep a journal, and every time you dream, you can kind of write down whether or not it felt like an astral travel or if it felt like a different type of dream style. But documenting and recognizing and acknowledging any experience that you have that might seem like it is going to help you unfold even more. That awareness is really important for you to unlock the next levels of what you're capable of doing, okay? So what I would like to begin this section with is that when I started having out-of-body experiences, I didn't realize it was happening at such a young age, that this is what was taking place. And guess what? It's happening for you too. Now, when I consciously became aware of it, it was when I started meditating. I didn't actually aim to have out-of-body experiences, they just happened. During my process of really seeing what my capabilities and powers are, I was kind of taken through trials or experiences by my higher guidance that would allow me to see what I have access to. Then seeing what I have access to, being able to consciously choose what I want to do with it, if I want to explore it more. It really is up to us what we feel like we want to do. But I appreciate that I was given these opportunities, and this is how I can share it with you. So when it first started happening, I noticed that what would happen is there would be a tunnel or like a portal, a wormhole. Something would start developing during a meditation, and it would start creating this cylinder, this circular thing, but I could see it kind of like traveling down, right? And of course, this is like first time exploring this, so a little bit kind of like not sure what to do. But as I allowed myself to sit into it and explore this portal, I found that when I went into it, it would create this tunnel, and I would be traveling through what looked like a tunnel. Now, this tunnel was very different. It had a lot of, sometimes it looked like stars, sometimes it looks like little cells or bubbles, just kind of like going past as I'm traveling through. And sometimes I just let it go on forever, and I'm like, are we ever gonna stop at any time? A pee break maybe? But sometimes it would just keep going. And I realized that it's based off of my conscious decision to make it stop. So through trial and error, I decided that, you know what, this is where I'm going to stop. And then I allow it to show me where we're going. Now, I've had many experiences. I'm not going to really get into that as everybody's is different. Some of these experiences were ones that are off-world. Some of them are just experiences with other guides or angels. It really just depends on what your experience is. So I wouldn't necessarily compare it to mine. I would just kind of explore your own. But this is how it began for me. Seeing a portal, choosing to consciously move through it, and taking my conscious away from my physical experience and moving into that direction. Now, as this progressed in meditation, I realized that there could be more of a, there are different levels of this experience. So during a meditation in both this home I'm living in now and then the last one, I realized that I was waking up in almost another dimension of what my home was. So like another time that it exists in. And it had different things in there, but it was still the same place. Sometimes I would wake up and the experience would be what it looks like now, but almost as if different events had taken place. And I had made different choices, and I was being able to see what those different choices were and who was involved with them. Very interesting. There's so many levels that you can experience with this. Again, it's up to you. So I would wake up and I would literally walk around. I would step out of the body, walk around, and it would feel like liquid almost. I was like, wobbly, and I'm like, woo, this is weird. And then I'd freak out. And then I'd be like, I'm getting back in. I'd sit back down in the body, and then I just lay back down because I was like, no. So as time progressed, I would be given more opportunities to expand on this because it can be a very different sensation that you're experiencing, and you're consciously aware of it. And I had to kind of allow the process to unfold over time to see that I was basically stepping out of my body with my consciousness outside and exploring my area. Now, along with that, there are exercises that you can do, which I will get to as this video progresses. I'm going to talk about an exercise that you can do or other ways that you can explore having an out-of-body experience or astral projection that will make you feel a little bit more comfortable before kind of fully leaving the body into the astral plane and going and exploring that. So again, astral projection and out-of-body experience is basically projecting your consciousness outside of the physical experience, the physical body, to do different things. It could be for fun. You might just want to see what you can do and what you're capable of doing, because we are all capable of doing it. You can explore other worlds, other planets, other realities. You can explore other lives that you lived. You can explore past lives. You can meet your angels, your guides in this space, and oftentimes that is when they connect with you, is when you are having your evening out-of-body experiences and exploring these spaces. They're going to make more contact with you because you're more consciously out of the way, and it allows you to be able to connect with them deeper. Now, ways to tell that you're having an astral projection or an astral dream. You want to pay attention to the dream, and sometimes you can see things in sequence, like it's just happening in a sequential order, rather than in some dreams that you're having, you're like working things out, or things are really weird and kind of all over the place. Well, that's because a lot of it is in symbolism. A lot of our dreams are in symbolism, and we're learning things through those experiences, through either lucid dreams or through just conscious dreaming or subconscious dreaming. You're like learning things. Your mind is processing things throughout the day, deals with food that you ate, things that you watched on TV before. It really just depends. So that's going to be a bit different. But when it comes to the astral plane, ways that I was able to tell what I was experiencing was a lot of towns would show up. Like I would be in towns or places with landscapes and people. If there's a scene where there's a lot of people showing up in the reality, you might be experiencing this astral plane. It's almost like a meeting ground for all of these physical people who are traveling out of body, as well as the spirit energies that can meet in this plane, because they can all meet there without the physical limitation. So you might be experiencing that a lot. So I'd pay attention to towns and cities. I'd pay attention to, are there a lot of people? Like I dream a lot of festivals, music festivals, art festivals, a gathering of a lot of people having fun. That's the astral plane, a place where people can all gather together. Another thing to pay attention to is when you're dreaming of schools or education. Think about that. There's a lot of people, there's people in the classes, you're learning wisdom, things like that. And that's typically in the astral plane, in the higher astral levels. Now, when we're going to schools, speaking of that, you might be taking on information, or you're learning things on the spirit side to bring back here into the physical, and you're not even fully aware of it. Now, what I like to do is I like to consciously make that decision, and I set the intention. I set the intention to go to school in the astral plane and learn knowledge that I can bring back here to share with everybody else. And I set that intention because that's truly what I want to do. And it's so much fun to see what your spirit self does on that side. I tend to goof around more for some reason, and I'm less serious, and that's probably because I'm not attached to the physical things and some of the ego influences that we have. So it's really fun. So I would just pay attention to what you're experiencing, asking yourself, did it feel like an astral plane dream, or did it feel like just a normal dream where I was working things out? If we don't ask those questions, we can't really determine, and really we do know the answers to these things. So I highly recommend you just start asking the question, what did it feel like to you when you woke up? Again, have your journal next to your bed. or first thing in the morning, ask those questions and jot anything you got down, regardless if you can remember anything. What did it feel like? What kind of dream did it feel like? Okay, so that's how I would kind of move forward with that. Now, a lot of this is so that it can expand your conscious awareness of your multidimensionality. We have so much access to other dimensions if we are in resonance with it. So depending on your journey and your soul's journey, you're going to be accessing different levels of information. Just like I'm accessing different levels of information than you're accessing. And then that kind of changes and that evolves based off of the fact of what we choose to do, what actions we take in our daily life, how we expand our awareness, and just where we at in the first place. It really just depends on the work that you do. And the more you clear on the shadow side and work on those shadow aspects of the self, the more that clears away so you can raise your vibration and reach into those higher dimensions for higher access. Now, everyone will always have access to information at one point or another. It is not to say that someone is better than the other. That is not true. We are all actually equal. We are all actually one. And we're all aspects of the one having all these different experiences. And in that way, they are very important for us to be able to share with each other and expand on that. Just like I'm sharing my aspect with you so that you can expand on your own. Now, when is the best time to be able to do astral travel and out-of-body experiences? My recommendation is to do it when you are the happiest, when you are in a high vibrational space. Everything in the universe is law of attraction, regardless if one believes in that or not. It exists. It's just what it is. It's the laws of the universe, the laws of nature. So any kind of experience you're going to have is going to be reflective of where you are at now. And if you are given an experience that is less than satisfactory, it is probably just asking you to heal that aspect or to allow your soul to grow or expand more than it already is. These are just experiences that help us to expand even deeper. Okay, so trust within that experience. Now, along with that, if you enter into an out-of-body experience and you're having a really crappy time and you're in a very low vibrational space, well, the information that you can access is going to resonate with that. And so to have the best out-of-body experiences, it's best to do it when you are feeling high vibe and you're feeling really good and excited. You do not want to enter into any experience, and I don't even mean just this. You don't want to enter into any experience if you have fear. You always want to make any decision from a positive space. There are different levels of the astral plane. There are what is known as the lower astral, and then it kind of climbs up from there. And again, it's all based on your frequency. Where are you vibrating at? That's the level of information that you're going to receive and have access to. So with that, you can set your bar or your tuner or your dial to where it is that you want to go. Okay, you can even turn on high vibrational music, high frequency tones that will tune you up into that space. Tune into love, go into your heart and say, I'm entering into this experience with full love, full trust and grounding. That's a very good tool to be able to embark on these journeys that you can take. And then just don't have any expectations around what you're going to experience because it's going to be different and it's going to evolve. So a little bit at a time in digestible bits is very highly recommended. It is also best that you are relaxed and not stimulated by any stimulants like coffee. Having too much caffeine in your system can allow your brain to be firing off in so many different ways that it's more difficult to come into alignment and into a relaxed and receptive state. So it's best to do it when you aren't loaded up with caffeine or stimulants. It's best to do it when you're relaxed. So you can do it in the morning. Even after lunch is a good time because you're kind of in that digestible state. And definitely when you're winding down at night, you can do this. And it's good to do it like as you're going into your sleep time. This is a great time to do it because then you can have all these cool astral dreams and you've set the intention of it. The other thing I want to say about the sleep time is that people do have sleep paralysis episodes, right? Some of you have it often. Now, there's a lot of fear around that, and I still, to this day, will have some experiences where I do have fear, and then there's some where I don't. I just had one 2 nights ago where I received an infusion of love and I felt the love come in, yet then it was followed by a sleep paralysis, freaked me out, and I was fighting to get out of it, yet I was already shown by my guides that it was going to be out of love and that there was going to be a process brought in. However, did I listen? No, didn't listen. I freaked out and I tried to fight myself, fight out of it. Now, the thing is, I want to say, if we can trust and allow the sleep paralysis process to take its course, it's actually like this bridge to being able to have the out-of-body experience, because that's what it already is. You're just like shy of having your consciousness back in your body. It's kind of like personally, I drift out because it happens near when I sleep, like right away. I drift out of my body, my consciousness drifts out of my body, and then all of a sudden my body is still not really caught up with that, and it decides to wake up, and there's a disconnection there. But I'm already going. So if I'm doing that and I just trust and allow, I can allow my consciousness to drift out, and I can consciously direct that out-of-body experience, that astral projection. But instead I freak out. Not always. And there are different levels of sleep paralysis. Yes, is work being done by your higher guidance. This is where you're getting a lot of healing. Sometimes people see beings in the room. Well, it's your higher guidance. They're working with you. There's nothing to fear. And if you have no fear and you give whatever it is that's their love, even when you're kind of drifting off to have an out-of-body experience, just always enter and just tune into love. You're going to be okay. Totally, nothing can harm you. You are protected. You will not get lost in the ethers either. You can't disconnect from your physical experience that you're having here. So remove that fear. Take that out of the equation. You're able to have these experiences and always come back. Remember that you're always in control. And if you can enter that space saying, I'm always in control, you're going to be fine. You got this. Okay, so in sleep paralysis, when you're having that, try to relax into it. Don't fight it. We all have to practice, and I'm telling myself too at this moment, we all have to practice relaxing and not having fear, but allowing it to see where it wants to go. And if there's something that we don't feel comfortable with, even if it's not harming us, if there's something that we don't feel comfortable with, we can always say, I don't consent. This doesn't feel good to me. I have fear around this. I tune into love. I send this entire experience love. Then you will typically come out of it because your higher guidance doesn't want you to have fear around exploring your mastering capabilities of the non-physical. So don't have any fear. Tune into love always, and just know that you're in control, and you can say that. I am in control. And if something bothers you and it's fearful, I do not consent. It doesn't matter if it's benevolent or malevolent. I do not consent. It just shows that I'm claiming my space. It says an affirmation of what you will and will not embark on or accept. But if you can enter in with love and you can send anything love, you're good, you're solid. So how to do it? Well, you can either do it when you're doing meditation or you can do it before you go to bed. And both ways you can use the same kind of mechanism. I would definitely get into a receptive meditative state. So taking really deep breaths, really slow inhales, holding the breath, slow exhales, really long. That's going to send you into that really relaxed state. Even if you're having sleep issues and you can't go to sleep, this breathing exercise will allow you to align and get into that space. So, side note. But take long, deep breaths in, hold, and then release nice and long. Do a few of those. Set the intention. I set the intention to astral travel, to explore the astral plane, to have an out-of-body experience. Any of those words, that intention truly is vibration and frequency, and your thought will do the work. But you can say it out loud if you want to. So set those intentions. Now, when your eyes are closed, you can do that thing I said. You can either wait till a portal emerges, but you might fall asleep. So I would create the portal. You are able to create these portals to be able to travel through, all right? So there's different ways to do it. I'm just gonna give you one to keep it nice and simple for you, but there's different ways depending on who you talk to and the different teachings. So it's whatever feels right for you. This one seems to work for me. So I visualize a tunnel now because that's what I was shown. The only reason I do it is because it's what I was shown multiple times without even trying. So I visualize a tunnel and I let that tunnel really develop. I wait till I really see it in my mind's eye and I relax into that space. When ready, you can enter into that. Nice and easy, you can allow yourself to take it where it wants to go. Now you can follow into that dream space and let it take you where you want to go, or you can set the intention. You can either do it generally, like, take me where I should go, or you can do it where you want to visit somewhere that you know you've been or exists. So let's say there's this really cool land that I visit, and it's got like these orange cliffs and mountains and like rock formations, and there's water everywhere. And the sky has this kind of purplish vibe, but it's all water, like a water world. And I can set the intention to go there. I visualize it in my mind. I say, that's where I want to go. That's where I want to explore. Or if I want to explore a past life, I set the intention to travel into the space where I can explore this information. It's really intention. Everything is your intention, and then you have to release the idea of what you think that's going to look like. So be open to your experience, allow it to really just take you where you want to go. Always remember to be relaxed, always remember to tune into love, go into your heart space, and have fun from there, okay? I hope these tips and these explanations and understandings from my own personal experience allow you to explore your own. If you can understand how the mechanism works a little bit deeper, what you are already doing is we're tuning into the vibration or frequency of that. So it's probably a good idea for you to go and do it now, since that's all we've been talking about and you've been thinking about. We've already set that bar, that tuner, to the frequency of what you want. So why not take this time to go and do it? All right? I hope this helped everybody. I hope you can expand on your astral travels. Again, journal, take notes. Even if you can't fully remember, take notes on what you feel from the experience. Sometimes you won't remember, but you'll be like, I felt like I astral traveled. Good. That's a doorway to the next level of what you're going to be able to remember or receive. And remember, request that. I will remember my astral travels. I will remember. Okay? Remember, you're always in control. It's always out of love. You are highly connected, multidimensional beings that can explore the far reaches of the universe that you are ready to explore at this time. And I hope you have fun, and I would love to hear your own stories. Thank you. Please subscribe to the YouTube channel for more videos like this and channelings and beautiful things that I want to share with you all. Thank you so much.